I remember in 2nd grade.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will like this. 2nd grade.
Oh.
And I was like, I was like 2nd grade, and who knows what I was supposed to be paying attention to, but obviously I was like bored out of my mind and just ready to I needed to move.
Thank you.
So like I was overly confident that like I had the eraser sticking up, and it was like this. I remember like listening to Mrs. like Essex, and I'm like, oh, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. I just seem to remember just like being like,
I'm so tired.
and I was just like. And like I went like this, like really hard, but like unfortunately my pencil was like this.
What?
And then it was like I felt it go in, and I remember like standing up, and the pencil was just dangling. I remember I remember like feeling it go in and going like oh, and like standing up because it's like in my jaw. It's like right. Luckily it wasn't here. It was like right underneath here. If I shave this, it's a minor scar, but there's proof. It's scarred.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go stitches in. And I was just like, oh, and it was just hanging out, and I remember like, oh, and then eventually I remember like, oh, and then it like fell, and then it was like blood, and I'm like, oh. Do you remember that? Oh man, I was like, I remember just I was listening. I all I remember is like being like this. I thought the eraser was up, and just very just like out of like, I was just like, and just like slammed my face into it, and it just like.
It was like. It's like the
you wanted to get out of class.
Oh, I was done with school.
It was so weird because it was like I didn't see you do it.
Right.
But then I looked and I was like, how did that? How did this?
That's not normal.
How did this come to be?
Hands free.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah. What's up?
Man.
And then the only other time that something dumb like that happened to myself, that I did to myself, I'm not blaming anybody but myself. It was 6th grade. Might have been 5th grade. And like, because we're in the same classroom, so I'm not remember. I just remember the environment.
Classroom, yeah.
And I was like bored again, so I'm flipping my pencil, trying to catch it,
Yeah.
And then one time I didn't catch it, and it fell, and so I went to chase it, and it bounced back up. It bounced back up, and then like I fell on it.
Oh.
And I came really. It was dangling from my hand. I laugh now.
You know what?
I laugh now.
Okay. Alright. If you need it, I'll give it to you.
I've got some safety glasses around here somewhere. You gotta...
I'm a permanent marker kind of guy.
I'm a permanent marker kind of guy.
When I was in 4th grade, I did something like that. I was like leaning back in my chair because that's what cool kids did in 4th grade. And I was like holding myself up with the eraser of my pencil. And I was sitting like this, I think. And I slipped, and it stabbed into my leg, and I came away with it just sticking straight up out my leg. And I've still got a little pencil mark in there. It's tattooed.
The lucky thing for me in 7th and 8th grade, I rarely was in possession of my own pencil and eraser to be able to hurt myself.
There you go.
That's my bad.
It passed from it was the whole class. It wasn't just you. No, it just passed from.
Antagonized it.
Okay, it's alright.
But you're right.
No,
everybody was in it.
The best thing too was like
we wouldn't steal stuff out of it. Pass it around.
Freaking hell! Jake and I were sitting. We sat
eventually
by the side.
he'd look for it and then confront someone about it.
Yeah.
And
I just so resigned. I just was so resigned because it's like how can you fight 12 other people like for the one where you just by the time you go look in one place it's passed through 3 people.
Right.
And you just there's no way no way you're gonna know. But I'll tell you what's even better than that. We were both sitting, our desks were both to the far left of the classroom. We were by the window where the register is.
This is a good story.
And there's hanging plants. There's hanging plants by the window. And they're real plants. They're growing. And I swear to God, all day long, I'll be listening and she'll be wearing like science class or something. And I'm listening. I'm watching the board, Mrs. Foot. And Jake's back in his chair tilted back. Just like this, like thrown back, not even looking, and just like pulling leaves off of the plants. Just fistfuls. Just fistfuls of these leaves.
That was entertaining.
And then, not looking, he'd go over and there was a tile that was loose. And he'd pull up the tile and grind them over the tile.
Wow.
Well,
and
I grilled
incense, he grilled them. That's right, he dried them out on the radiator. Laid them all out. And
the next morning,
and then grinded them and just kept this incense.
It was an offering. Yeah. Yes.
And here I am. I was like, one day I was bored. So one day I was bored and I was like, I want to be cool too. I want to pluck a leaf off of the plant. So I'm paying attention and I'm like, okay.
Waiting for your moment.
I'm like, okay, so she's going to write. She's about to write a thing. And she says something like a long phrase. And she turns around to write it. I'm like, oh, now's my time. Boom. Clap. When she's like, Ronnie, what are you doing?
You did. You got in so much trouble.
I was like, I was just taking off I was picking off the dead leaf. The dead leaf off of the plant. She was like, don't do that. I was like, why are you doing that?
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
I was like, it's like, now I know. I'm not one of those kids who I can't
get away with it.
I can't do anything. I can never get into trouble. That's it.
You have to be good all the time, otherwise you will get caught.
I do.
It was funny though.
I do have another philosophy on that whole thing though.
Yeah.
That is one viewpoint. The other viewpoint is the teachers knew that I was so far gone. they just let me. There was a lot of hope for you still, and they were like, "We gotta keep him on the straight and narrow."
She's silent the whole time, and she's just like, "At least he's quiet."
Yeah.
She just keeps going. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is I just wanted one damn leaf.
Right.
I wanted one damn leaf.
Right. You wanted it to be yours, so that you could grill it. So then you could give it up as an offering.
Yeah, I wanted to be cool. Nope. It's cool for you, Ronnie.
What it's about.
That's super funny. Actually, that is a good story.
That was one of my best ones because I thought I was like, okay. I was like, he grabs just a fistful at a time. It's like, this is easy. I was like, I don't even have to do that. I was like, I didn't remember telling myself, I just want one. I just want one in there.
Yeah.
I had to put one in there.
Why can't I have one?
Why can't I have one? Yeah.
And he could.
Oh yeah.
No one was stopping him.
No.
So he went for it.
And
it
I
was good.
swear to you, like
Got empowered.
it was like.
Yep.
It was just, I don't even know. I didn't look at her, so I don't know if she like turned and then forgot something and looked back. I have no clue.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
But yeah, she did catch you.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I remember saying that too. Like it was a dead leaf. I was just picking off a dead leaf.
Which is actually a really smart. Like I don't know what I'd have said if I got caught. I never thought about it.
See, I had that ready to go. You know what I mean? I thought about it before.
Yeah.
So,
You had it all planned out.
You did.
the whole thing planned out.
Yeah.
And then and she just looked at me just like, why would you even want it? She was just like, well, don't do that.
And she also looked at you like it was, and it did come across that you were the first person to have ever done that.
Yeah.
So I guess my theory is out the window.
Maybe I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. I love it to this day. With like, I picture. Let me offer you like my thoughts, and then you help flesh it out if you'd like.
Okay.
I kind of picture Sandy like. So in his beginning, let's say he's going to Bard College. Like, what was his first year at Bard College? Like, was he just kind of a loner and studying really hard?
Nope, I got you. Let me go from there. Cool.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little story about Sandy.
Yeah.
Okay. So like Sandy's first year at Bard College, and keep in mind, Sandy already has grown up and raised, surrounded by bards. So so that part is familiar, but even in elementary school. Leading in all the way through high school. Sandy was very reclusive. Sandy would always get picked last for games such as kickball and other combat sports, right, that you might play as a middle schooler. Mm-hmm. But this is Bard, right? It's Bard. It's Bard College. Bard College, when Sandy got on campus, was great. It was almost like a metropolis of bards his age. Problem is, Sandy never really found a way to excel in the public eye as an acceptance. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So here's Bard College. Bard College has a lot of two things everywhere. One are park benches. Second thing is trees. Guess what every park bench and every tree has in it? A bard playing music. Right? So guess what?
They're just hanging out of the trees. People walk by, they hang down and play a chord. No, I love it. You're right.
Right.
You're right.
So if you're looking at it from a prioritization, popularity, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
Okay? Whoever plays the best, whatever word, however you want to view this.
Yeah.
The best locations have the popular bards, right? This park bench always has this particular bard. And he's strumming and he's drawing in the ladies. This tree that overlooks this beautiful scenic whatever the deuce, which is a prime spot for a bard to jump up and do his thing. Always has the cool.
That guy's always playing the rock ballads.
Right.
He's always with on the sunset with the breeze blowing his rock hair.
So Sandy could never find a spot.
Oh, yeah.
And even if he did start to find a spot, it was like people were like, dude,
no,
you don't belong.
Yeah,
that's so and so's. So he'd have to climb down, and Okay, so this was Sandy. So but Sandy finally found a place. Okay, and it was like what Sandy realized was like, dude, nobody plays in the pine trees. So Sandy for sure like.
Pine tree?
So you know how pine trees have like layers.
Yeah.
So he would lift up the layer and like climb in. Climb, underneath, right? He's still on the ground, okay? Yeah. Underneath. And then once he got in there, he was like, "Oh, I can saw off." So he trimmed out some branches. So he had a little. He was on the ground. He was on the ground. Yeah. Okay. But he sawed off enough where if he lifted and went in, that was his spot, and he could play along there. So even if somebody. And it was far out. It wasn't a prime location. It wasn't middle of the campus. It wasn't any of that. It was over by the dairy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right?
It was just
a place to call his own.
But that was his. Yeah. So he found it. He carved it out, and like so that's what he made his own.
Yeah.
So he spent his freshman year, like very much still alone in prime bard. Activities.
Did other bards? Do you feel like did other bards ever? Maybe not severely, but do you think they ever kind of like, not horribly like bullied, but picked on?
Yeah,
Sandy a little bit, or made jokes.
And it wasn't freshman to freshman.
Jokes,
It was senior to freshman.
Exactly. Yeah. So I also have this image in mind of like I don't know where some of Sandy's social anxiety comes from. I think that this group, the cool bards, maybe there's one girl who kind of, but maliciously, like at the bequest of this group, kind of warmed up to Sandy, and they set him up to like pants him at homecoming or something really embarrassing. And then he knew that like, oh, this was never a thing. Like she just was. This is just to make me the butt of another joke or something.
Which is possible.
I wonder if those kind of things happened to Sandy a little bit,
Probably did.
And it just made him just a little bit. It hardened him up. It didn't. I don't think it brought him down. I think it hardened him up.
It did two things, and you're right. The first one is it hardened him up. The second one is it took Sandy down an internal quest to figure out what he was good at, and then what he ended up being drawn to was what we would loosely associate a fight club.
I think that's exactly where I was going. Because I think every time he gets picked on by the cool bards,
right,
he goes and he puts on the bare knuckle and he goes to the boxing thing in his basement.
Right.
And he just
he was punched the tree. It was the tree.
That thing.
It was for sure the tree.
Pine tree.
Yeah.
He's just got these bloody knuckles.
He's in there. Yeah. That was his oasis. That was his. That was what he found as his
pine tree.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and he was just. It was just he could walk up. No one was. And he could just. And then once you got in, then it opened up.
Right.
Because he kind of made a little.
He's in his little safe haven.
Right. Because he didn't have to saw too high up. The branches were still could still make it. Right.
I love it.
So yeah.
I thought that was good. I think that's awesome.
Yep.
Inspirational.
Cool. Thank you.
Anytime. The other Victor's the only one that I think is a little bit more malleable. Have you thought about? Have you thought about Wizard College? Tell me what you think about Wizard College.
Well, as I'm sure you guys remember from months and months and months ago, Dangle's father is he's a prime wizard basically. He's on the Wizard Council.
Right.
He's high up in the wizarding world. Lots of prestige there. And so Dangle always had this expectation of him, which was to follow in his father's footsteps and become a wizard as well. So most of his early life has been planned for him. He was magic school, elementary school, so to speak. And so he always kind of slacked off a little bit just because his dad's the head wizard there. So,
Do you know how much money my dad donated to this school?
yep.
You can't suspend me. That's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he really developed a really bad work ethic.
Yeah.
Just because, you know,
Did he fall in with not horrible wizards, but did he fall in with the prankster crowd of wizards?
Oh, absolutely.
I think his roommate. Can I insert one thing and keep going? I think your roommate was a wizard studying in the illusion school of magic.
Oh,
He was his
absolutely.
major was illusion, and so maybe that's how you picked up some of your illusion magic, but you two were mad pranksters, right?
Oh, for sure.
Sorry,
For sure.
That was your roommate.
For sure. And, like, you know, let's say Hogwarts was like the Harvard of magic schools.
Yeah.
Dingle didn't get into Hogwarts. He got into Hogwarts tech,
Yeah.
so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a school where, you know, the brightest go, but not necessarily the best.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
That's
The
there's
best and brightest.
That's good.
good clarification on that.
What was the signature prank that that you and your roommate pulled off? Was it on a teacher? Was it on a fellow student? Or just the school itself?
There was one student in particular that Dangle liked to prank.
Yeah.
And as luck would have it, it was the only student in the school shorter than Dangle. It was a dwarf.
Yep.
A dwarf wizard.
Which right
And
off the
Dimwit.
bat, he was already getting
Oh,
teased
absolutely.
a whole lot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But unlike Dangle, like, Dimlin actually worked. Like, he had a good work ethic. He
Yep.
studied his magic. He read all the tomes.
Yep.
He was in class on time.
Yep.
And as a
Actually
result,
there.
Yeah, actually there.
Yeah.
Like Dangle didn't go to class. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Like, he did the bare minimum to get by. D's
Yeah.
get degrees.
Yeah.
But Dimlin actually was a good wizard.
Yeah.
And as a result, had a lot more social standing than
Yeah. Sure.
than Dangle. But Dangle didn't really realize that.
Yeah.
So at the end of his third year, he pulled a big prank on Dimlin.
Yeah.
Trying to embarrass him in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Essentially, pantsed him at the school dance.
Yeah. It's a lot of fancy guy. Listen, you're gonna need to have somebody get pants in your story.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Okay.
you kidding me?
He's like, it was me.
He went and pants himself. Hey! So guys,
Huh?
sorry. I'm sorry. That was big. Yeah. Yep.
Running for class
The
president.
the big to do.
Since I have the biggest dong in this room, I expect you to
He
vote
just
for
goes
me.
around. He just goes around. He's like,
Who wants to look?
he's ready for cosplay. He just steps inside of the podium. Say no more.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Epic prank.
Yeah.
To myself.
Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, the big prom, the big dance is coming, and
Yeah.
Dimlin found somebody for it, and
Yeah,
he's going?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Cool.
he was getting his. Dimlin was, up on stage, getting some sort of accolade, and Dangle had cast invisibility on himself. Went up there, pantsed him, became uninvisible, and started laughing and pointing. And it was just dead silent. Just dead silent.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like glaring at Dangle and just really super awkward. Like, it wasn't
Right.
funny at all.
right, it was just a little. It was tone deaf for the audience.
Exactly.
Involved. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Love
Judgment. There's a lot of judgment.
Do you have any idea for your roommate's name, or we can think of it later? It's not something you have to think right now. Did he put you up to it and then stay invisible?
Ooh,
Was
I
it
like
just
that.
you? Was it
That's
just
good.
you that?
You
And then you were
best
like,
do it.
you were both going to be on each side of it,
Yeah,
and then you were
pointing
like, and then you were like, oh.
I like that. That's good.
You could
That's
name
good.
him Troy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
I guess if your nickname was Hal, if you had a nickname, and your nickname happened to be Hal.
Yeah. Sounds like a Troy and Hal kind of
That's
thing.
Troy and Hal kind of thing. That's funny.
Nice. And so you can think of him as, by all means, think
Yeah,
of his name later,
yeah.
but yeah.
Taco.
Taco.
We'll call him Taco.
Love it. Yep.
But yeah, and as a direct result of that, Dangle's father, the great wizard Participle, pulled him out of school, and he spent his last year of wizarding school interning at a dwarven mine.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's rough times in Siberia.
Yeah, in Siberia.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, Dangle has developed a very poor outlook on dwarves.
Well, then after that, he enlisted for the Goblin Wars, right, and met up with Victor and all that, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, well, he got disbarred by...
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the first, but then he signed up.
Then
He
signed,
enlisted for the
life
Goblin
of
Wars
crime.
after that. Yeah,
and
that's a long story. Actually,
devolved
there's a lot
into
in
his-
between there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you.
Yeah, he devolved into his thieving ways after he was stripped of his magical powers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so then that happened, and then you two kind of lived in the city for a while, and then.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Cool. Love it. Very good, sir. And you paced yourself in front of everybody all the time, and it was really funny. It was great. I love it. That's a great story.
My
He's
stories,
constantly running around with his dong, flinging out, and that's just, it's rich, compelling stories.
But you did become vice president of the class,
Right.
so that actually probably
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah.
my story isn't really anything special.
No, it's all good.
I had I was part of a lineage. You know,
Yeah.
I went to the best college.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was part of it.
Mhm.
You know, I was part of the Iron Shield, and it's just my mentor was Wingard, and I basically got a job with him right off the bat, straight out of college, and continued my training.
And I love the feeling of just straight up borrowing from The Witcher, where Wingard is this older paladin,
Yeah.
and you two go from small village to small village, not slaying monsters like in The Witcher, but addressing the needs of this village and moving
Right.
on, and just being a force
I was
for
born
good in
for
the
one
world,
purpose,
helping
basically,
protect things.
and I
Yeah.
fulfilled that role.
Yeah.
And actually, I like it.
Right.
Some people that they hate that they were born into this role. It gives me structure. I like structure. It feels good to lead. It feels good to be part of.
Really,
something
kind of a
bigger.
straight shooter. His path was
Straight
kind of
up.
laid out for him, and he just kind of is following through with it.
Right.
The shoe really fits for Victor.
That's
right?
it. That's completely true. And
I love it.
aced on my classes. Life has been super easy for me, and so I'm out here trying to get a little bit of excitement going on. And
Yeah, and this
and
is
do
like
something
the
good.
ultimate. This is like the ultimate force for good, because staying on the material plane and protecting villages, killing the occasional demon, that's great, but they just get banished back to the hells, and then they might come back in a year.
Right.
Here, you're doing permanent work. So even if you take out a handful here, it's infinitely more valuable than
Yeah.
over a long enough time span. Yeah.
But I totally was bulletproof. I got away with anything I wanted to in college. I pantsed myself in front of the entire student body and was like, I got a bigger dick than all of you. And
You're
you
picking
guys just
leaves
gotta
in
deal
class,
with it.
just constantly.
You're just gonna have to deal with it.
It was grilling season.
It's a grilling season, baby.
You know what's what, and it was true. So, yeah.
Love it. Very cool. Did I throw that other one your way? You got your inspiration die.
That might be fun too.
Dude, I'm so pumped about the sharpshooter.
Yeah, you like it?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me the
I was
story.
squabbling trying to make my.
I'm going to tell you. I want it to be Talia,
Let's go.
because she's the. And I'll tell you what. She's working on your.
Yep.
Let's start here, because I know how your downtime goes.
Yep. Well, so
Talia turns this. Oh, there's one more thing. Bump up your spell DC and your spell attack.
Up here.
Yeah.
Spell save DC.
Yep. It
So
goes
what?
up 1.
17.
Yep. And your spell attack goes up to 9, plus 9. And what she did is she kind of disassembled it. She's curious about the mechanism that does this pump action loot and all this stuff.
And is functional.
And is still
for
functional.
Swooning.
Yep.
Even though I'm not real good at it because the girls make me nervous.
Yeah. And but she essentially she takes it apart and gives it a tune-up, and actually kind of makes some improvements on it.
Yeah, nice.
And I think she kind of works in a sight for you, and maybe that's part of how you get the sharpshooter thing.
That makes sense.
She puts a sight on it, and you practice around her forge. Like she's got a dummy, whatever up in the corner, and you practice, shooting that.
So
a bit.
Okay, so let me go from there.
She's made it a +2 loot now. So that's why it used to be a +1, your focus, so you channel your spells through it.
Okay.
She's made it a little better. So I bumped up your damage and your hit attacks. And then it also bumps up your spells.
Okay.
I think she had Wadsworth come over, and while she was reforging some parts, she had him channel some more arcane energy into it just to give it more substance and more power. And actually, maybe it was kind of while they were experimenting with some of the demon weapons, they were able to harness some of the power, and he's also tried to channel some of his magic into it as well. But the bottom line, they kind of experimented with it. She tuned it up. She's got it up to a +2 loot for you right now.
Awesome.
Same mechanism, same stuff, but maybe it's got a little bit of gold trim now.
It's possible.
Maybe you tell me what it looks like now.
Okay. I love it. So all right, so I'll save the tune-up again. All right, so there's two things that complement each other, and that had to happen in order for me to become and acquire the sharpshooter ability.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing is, we've established that I have been spending a lot of time with her in we'll call it a confined space. It's not a field, right? It's her. It's her area.
This underground.
It's her forge. It's her area.
Yep. She's got like a large cavern in this spot carved out, and she's
perfect.
Yep.
The other thing that we've established is really when I'm not with her, I like to be alone. And my favorite alone spot is back like I did a couple when our last whatever.
You have a pine tree up above.
It's not a pine tree. It's not a pine tree. It's not a pine tree. But do you remember I forget which it was the last couple times we visited, but for one of our rests when we were back at the place, I like to sit up on the rocks where the waterfall was.
Yeah.
Because see now, I'm a little more comfortable in my own skin because I'm a lot more passive aggressive.
Yeah. It's all coming together.
And I'm the only bard around.
Yeah.
So these spots that would be prime locations when I was in college that I could never get to, now I can get to. So, but I'm on a rock, my foot's propped, doing my thing. Is that
rock balance with your hair blowing,
whatever that looks like, whatever that looks like for me. So so we've established those two things. Those are important.
Yes.
So the whole thing about completing the conquest of becoming the sharpshooter is you really need to work on your breathing if you're going to make a shot that far.
Oh yeah. Control
Correct.
your pulse. Control your hold your breath.
Control your breathing. Turns out, all the time that I spent with Talia, where I was like, built up my lungs, strength.
I love
so
it.
now, when I'm not nervous,
you're so nervous around her.
Yes.
You had to learn to control that.
Well, no, I didn't. I didn't control it. But I only get nervous around women.
Yes.
So now when I'm out doing my thing,
what are you going to do if you have to snipe a woman?
If I see something...
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see what she looks like. It's a good test. If I'm nervous, then
she's a
hottie. Right.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
But now while I'm out there, what I realized was when I did go to practice a shot, I'm out on my own. There's a fall, there's a lake, so I'm hitting stuff across. Right now, I was like, so that propelled me to see if I could keep making more accurate shots at further distances.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
What you're saying is
that's what I did.
Just spending time
with her,
just being in proximity to Talia has been like extreme cardio training for scenes.
That's exactly right.
Extreme level cardio training.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And just
so that when he's not around her, he maybe has to take like 2 breaths a minute.
So healthy. Yeah. That's exactly right.
He's hyperventilating around her.
Right.
He's probably passed out around her a couple of times when he had to stay too long.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, for sure in the beginning. Oh, for sure. Some really awkward.
She's just working at the forge, and here's the thing though, like the forge. When she's at the forge, like she's got the heavy leather apron to protect her, but really it's hot. So apart from the apron, she's working in a little less clothing than normal, just to not be just sweltering.
Yeah.
And it just is. It's probably she's not thinking anything of it. It's not like she's trying to be sexy. She's not trying. She just has a job to do.
Right.
And that's part of her job. But
She's
it's
just
every
showing,
time
she's sleeveless, so
yeah,
her shoulders are
exactly.
showing.
It's just the sleeveless part of it. And Sandy's like, I picture her working at the forge, and then she just hears a body collapse in the corner. Like when you pass out, she looks a little bit, and then it's maybe happened a couple times, not all the time, but she just keeps working.
She knows I'll get back up.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, you're
10
cool.
minutes later.
Yep, you're cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
That's
I
awesome.
think that's how that happened.
Here's how I think they've solved the problem. Her forge, Wadsworth, has a kind of like the rope trick spell. Like he opens an extra dimensional, a little portal above it, and the smoke just so that way you don't have you don't give away your
exactly. But it's miles off.
Yeah.
The secondary location.
It's under the ocean or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't
know
whatever it is, but yeah,
I like that.
it's awesome.
Good job, Wadsworth.
I think that's sweet. He puts
That's good though, right?
Hang on. He puts it under the ocean, but he accidentally doesn't make it. He makes the portal direction the wrong way.
His first time. Yeah.
His first time,
Good
and
job,
it just doused the forge.
There was a delay on my weapon.
And then they had to, that was when you guys were away, but then they cleaned it up, and now they got it working the right way, so.
But I think that's good storyline for Sandy as to how he became, right? I think
perfect.
everything, that made everything fit.
Yep, I think it's perfect. Victor, if you're going to do the concentration thing.
I am.
I think that you spend some time with Wadsworth, and he has you focus on a spell.
Yeah.
And he kind of walks around you like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And kind of like gives you like...
Yeah. Well, you did touch me. You're not supposed to touch me when you say you're not touching me.
You got to be ready for anything. You never know when it'll be coming. Slap. And he just, he just makes you concentrate on one spell until it just doesn't break, no matter what. And like sometimes he goes streaking out in front of you. And he tries everything he can do to break your concentration.
And your line is like, "Oh, you could have been president."
Hey, I'm glad you weren't running against me.
Wow.
And you practice like days. It's not just one day, but then the second day, it's like okay.
But it's Wadsworth,
now
so
2 spells.
for sure using
And then
minor
he's
illusion.
throwing mud. He's throwing little mud pies from across the room from behind you. He comes up behind you and like once every other hour he just like just right in the back of your head and just all this stuff, and you just become like a Zen master.
Yeah.
You just tune it out.
Yeah.
And it just
great.
You have an inner calm to help channel these. You partition your focus, and now you can channel these extra spells.
Unfazed. So
And at the end of that,
I get to do 2 or 3
so
spells.
total of 3. You had
and
one.
I don't lose them if I get hit, or I don't have to do a saving throw.
I'm going to say this. I think. Oh no. If it
breaks,
breaks,
they all break.
I think if they break, they all break. I think
Okay,
your
so I will have
concentration
to still do saving throws for
Yep.
concentration if I get hit. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's a hot product to have.
Heck
Heck
yeah. Yeah, except I'll have to cast all 3 all over again, which I.
Well,
basically
the other thing is, if you're in a situation, let me say, put it this way, let's say you guys are like outside of the castle or something, and you're like, okay, we're about to kick in the door, we're lining up SWAT teams down the door.
Yeah. You can
Just
buffer
tell me, just say, hey, I want all 3 of these up,
Yeah.
or even if I would say this, even if you're like. Because I want it to be a fun game and I want it to be a cool, like, heroic story, too. So, even if you're like, oh, I feel like something's going down, and you're like, hey, if something happens, I want to put these up real quick. I'll let you do that just, like, right off the bat. We'll negotiate. We'll work it out. But if you're, like, totally caught off surprise and you haven't been saying, hey, I'm planning on doing this, then, yeah, maybe you need to get one up at a time during combat or something. But
Can I choose which
cool?
one I want to drop if I want to drop one for something else?
You know what? how about this? How about every time you fail a concentration check, you have to drop 1?
Okay.
I don't think they have rules about that. So
Okay.
how about you can pick 1.
Yeah.
And then if you need to drop another, you get to pick the other.
That makes sense. I would be like, screw
Like
this thing. Okay.
Because
What happened?
Yeah, because that's a bit extreme if all your spells that maybe you're concentrating on are burned on one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's cool. Sweet.
I'm excited for this because I've got my power 3 right there. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And then I've got some really crazy stuff. Just
After
lock them
4
in
days,
place while they're
Walter
next to
says,
me.
Excellent job. Now you're ready.
I feel ready. I feel ready. I'm ready.
And he slaps you one more time.
Watch yourself, Wadsworth.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Watch yourself.
Okay.
I know people. I'm telling you.
You good?
I'm telling you.
You got it, my man.
I know a little man that wants to kill you.
Who's that?
No, I don't know. Just keep it in mind.
Good one.
Yeah.
Good one, Master Victor. Very funny. I love how everybody's got such a funny relationship with the NPCs. I love the suspenders. He sleeps in the suspenders. And they just, I was listening to him while I was painting Link, and he's like, just suspenders. You said like just suspenders, and he was like, attached to what? Like, you know, like, what they just, he's like, his boxers. So it's like he goes through the trouble of wearing the boxers just so he can put the suspenders.
He likes them loose.
I love it. It's hilarious. I love it. It's awesome.
He likes them loose. Well, gets a good breeze.
Yep. Cool.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Everything about this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
No worries. Am I going to get the arrows?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, cool. I'll keep my mouth shut then. I'll wait
You're
for
good.
it.
Nope.
I didn't know if I should ask,
I'm
or-
glad because I forgot. So these are. She gives you. So she's actually adjusted the mechanism a little bit. And now when you rotate the neck of the loop and it pops out and turns into
It plays a power
pump
chord.
action. It plays a power chord
Nice.
of your choosing.
That's what I want.
So,
Yeah.
and flings out, and it actually has like almost like a Bombay door that opens up, and you now, so it'll fire if there's nothing loaded. It just has that magic, that thunder. It just is raw sound that it just projects at your enemies. But now she's made that adjustment, and she has given you these clips. So you can put to different effect, and I'll just give them to you here now.
Okay.
A bonus action to load the clip, and then you've got your regular attack, but it's buffed up by these things. If you got questions about them, you let me know.
Love it.
What was this?
There's one thing. There's
One shot.
yeah.
Cool.
It's like a bonus action, and then fire that round.
So my clip is. Go ahead. You said you want to look at them.
Sorry. So
each one of those I get
you
one
can,
use.
Yeah, and then you get back to me, and you know what? Maybe hey, these are like you. Oh yeah, I should say. You have a. Did you write down what the items that you brought back to her?
Mm-hmm.
And read them all to me.
Explain them
read them all to me one more time because I didn't look at what they all are.
Cool. So for Talia, here's what I've got here. I brought her a tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I brought her wolf hair.
Yep.
2 wolf teeth, and I specifically took
the sharp, the
sharp
fangs.
Yep. I did grab a couple weapons: demon dagger,
Mm-hmm.
also one of the axes, one of the bows,
Yep.
and I did collect a demon dick. So that's in the bag.
And it's off of the. It was off of the huge one that came through the portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's awesome.
It was a keepsake.
So she at first you just dump it all out on her table, her workbench, and this huge demon dong flops out of the sack. And you're like, here. She was like, did you bring back the magical
Got what you
artifacts
asked
for me
for.
to study?
I
And you say,
I nervously, I'm like, I
brought you a penis.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's probably what. Actually, I have a feeling that it actually plays out a little differently. I have a feeling that when he did that, it wasn't for her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I took it as a memento of conquest, but I didn't. I didn't leave it in the bag.
When you're giving her that
I
stuff,
forgot. I was so nervous, I forgot.
Hang on, she sees you pull that one out, and then you go, oh no, that one's for me. And she's like, pardon?
Right.
And then it's just red.
Yeah,
right. Just beat red.
Right, no,
like, and then he just.
And I pass out. No, I pass out. I pass out.
He tries to stir it, and then he passes out. Yeah. So when you come to, she's already taken it.
Right.
She started trying to work on it, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. But then I'm like weirded out because she did take it.
Yeah. So and you don't see it around anywhere.
Right. Correct.
You don't know what happened to it or where it went.
Yes. Correct. She did in fact.
It's not hanging on the wall or anything like that. But so here's what
gone.
so each of these. I think your total number of spell slots, Victor, is 16. In terms of this, you've got how many? How should I say this? If a third level spell slot counts as 3, and a second level counts as 2, and a first counts as 1, how many do you have altogether?
You should look at your paper.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's there.
That's what I would do.
Poor guy. He's trying to recall. I'm like, dang.
So the way I read it was I actually have 4 of level 1, 3 of level 2, and 2 of level 1.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
2
2 times 3 would be 6. You have 2 third levels. That'd be like 6 worth. 3 2s is another 6, right? 12.
Yep.
And then 4, so 16, right?
Yeah, that would be 16.
So here's 8. I want you to roll them twice and give me the total. Here's what's happening. Now let me tell you what's happening. You're going to try to forge divine energy into the dagger that Dangle got last time.
Oh, okay.
So you're at the forge.
Okay.
And this is later. So she's done everything with the loot. You guys are spending maybe a week here, in your hideout after this big mission you kind of done.
Yeah, because I needed to build up my lungs.
Yep. You're building. You're working on. You're doing cardio every day. You're hitting it hard. You just you come in and just try to talk to her for a little bit, and you're sweating, and you're just huffing, and then you have to leave, and then you kind of you go out and you chop wood to kind of help come down off of it. Yeah.
I'm always lightheaded when I'm in there with her.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's another day. What they're doing is it's like. And I'm going to say you're there, obviously, you got the dagger. And so she's forging it, and then her and Wadsworth have made this, imbued this rune that's going to receive this divine energy, and she's got it all heated up. She's getting the dagger heated up in the forge, and this metal rune in the forge too. And then the time is going to come, she's going to pull it out, and she's going to have to hammer this rune into the blade.
Okay.
To fuse them, and that will be the time when you need to channel your divine energy into the blade, and then they have to seal it permanently to imbue this weapon. So what you'll do is you're just going to dump all your spell slots. This is just a day. You dump all your spell slots into it. You get a rest tonight. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then I have a few different effects I pulled off of the cleric list that might be possible to.
It's a good list.
You'll essentially get to go shopping. So he'll pour his energy, points of divine energy into this blade, and then I'll let you construct what thing. There's a few different spells you'd be able to cast, and then charges to be able to cast them. So we'll see which count.
This is going to be exhausting. So you're welcome.
For you, right?
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
Alright, so 9, 17, 20... 25, 30.
Nice.
39, 47, 50, 58, 64.
Nice.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
That's it.
I'm trying to stand straight and narrow here.
Yep.
You gave me 5 bardic inspiration.
Yep.
Is that because I leveled up and I gained a 5th one? Because last time
You
I
read that tome.
4. So it's from the tome.
So you should have +5 in your
I only
charisma.
did Yeah. So I
Yep.
want to
You
change
just
it
need
over
to
here.
change it over there. Yep,
Yep.
cool.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
So what did that do for him?
We're gonna find out. So now there's this instant where you just dump, and I don't know what does it look like. It's blue light pouring out of your eyes and your hands.
And my dick.
Into the forge.
Yeah.
Vice President.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like.
It's great. Now, how close does it get to the forge?
My dick?
I want you to make a dex save.
Yep.
Okay. It's a
I'm
safe.
not barking.
Not a
Sorry,
dick
you.
save, a dex save.
Okay.
Spelling is hard.
It's a decent. I don't have
It's
any
big enough,
spells to
wouldn't it be
help
strength?
myself, but
Strength. I'll let you choose. No, okay. Dex save.
dex save.
Dex save, yep.
Well, that's not great.
That's
Okay.
how about a 10?
Okay, 15.
Okay, good. Still got it.
Oh,
But there was a few like sparks, a shower of embers that came up. It was
okay.
close.
It was close.
It was close.
Yeah, I felt a little bit of heat down there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. But so then there's this moment where he has poured all this energy in, and Wadsworth is kind of concentrating. He's sacking all his spell slots too, and the hammer. She pulls the hammer one more time, and it's coming down, and it's like she's got to go kind of quick because it's something that she just gets one shot at. So she's like wham wham, hammering this rune in as he's dumped, and it's that rune really it starts to glow. It's got a nice bright blue glow to it, and she's hammer, and it starts to slow down for you, and you kind of have this moment where it freezes, and Wadsworth is kind of concentrating to put this effect on you to help determine like what's happening with this dagger. So, what did we say? 64 points. So especially over this amount of time. Do you have it seems like to me like every evening Talia's done with the forge, Wadsworth done studying and experimenting in his alchemical laboratory and all that stuff, and Derek is done like working on the patrolling or studying maps or doing like administrative things like as their captain. I always kind of had you guys hang out around the fire. It's just kind of your chill time. You eat the meal, you hang out, you just kind of chit chat, and it's kind of like your community time and all that stuff. And I feel like that's where it would come up, like what you're planning on doing next. So last time you were expressing that you wanted to go after Catalina, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about where we're going from here. What's on your mind? Because I think Derek he's kind of been talking to you like captain to captain. I think he would have like a discussion with you like around those fire situations. Maybe he even asked you like, so what are you planning on doing next?
We're going after Catalina. I don't want to be a vampire. I want to make sure that we take care of this bitch and, get her out of our hair. I don't want to become one of her servants, basically. So,
I laugh a little bit.
yeah, you laugh it up, fuzzball.
While I'm roasting my marshmallow, I just want you to know I'm listening. I'm not talking, but I do chuckle a little bit. I'm just.
The other thing that I loved was when you were talking to her last time, and you were like, "No, I didn't get bit, right?" No.
Yeah, you're
This is
clean
for
and
you,
whatnot.
right?
Good for you.
I'm clean. Okay, I just want to make sure she's trying to talk to you about serious things. Oh, damn it! What I really wanted. Oh fuck! I can't go back now, but let me. Well, I was.
We can go back. Let's go back.
This is important. This is important. One of the nights before, so she's worked on the loot that first day, or whatever those few days. You've been training with it. You don't have those cartridges yet. So it would have been so much better if you didn't know about those cartridges. But around the fire one night, she kind of whispers to you. She doesn't want. It's clear that she's kind of like, well, you remember last time, right? Derek really wanted you guys to go and rescue other squads and stuff like that. And she was kind of like, hey, we're not making a big enough impact. Like, we just get whittled down. We're not big enough, strong enough to fight this war, but we got to get there. Like if otherwise we're just dwindling here instead of like really building up. So she wanted these magical items from Catalina's place. We brought some back, but they weren't like the maybe the things that she was primarily thinking about, which is fine.
True.
But it's clear that like every time her and Wadsworth like express that like Derek does not want that. You know, it's a silly waste of their time and resources. He doesn't approve of that as like their captain. And so she doesn't. She just tells you, like, one night after she's made the loot for you, she's like, around the campfire. Maybe you and Derek are talking a little bit. When she sees that he's a little distracted, she leans over to you and she just says, "Come by my room later tonight." And she just keeps talking or whatever people. So, like I say, I goofed this up by giving you those, but I think that's how she gave them to you. Is there any? How does that interaction?
Deal that was made?
How does that interaction go? Because so Sandy doesn't know what she has to give, but and that's all that she told him. She just really quick, like when it was like when she had a second.
Yeah.
She just said, "Stop by my room later tonight."
Yeah. Okay. So let me just preface that. Let's go right to that moment in time.
Yes. Yeah. I goofed it up so bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Sandy hears that part and then passes out. Fortunately, it was the whole message.
It's so short that he didn't have time to pass out mid message.
Right. Fortunately, there wasn't more that she needed to tell him because he for sure blacked out. It wasn't a long blackout.
She catches you.
It wasn't a long blackout.
She catches you, and you wake up. Oh, like you wake up on her shoulder.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, okay.
Looking down right here. Your head is right here.
We're getting so much rest tonight.
And she just kind of catches you.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
You pass out immediately.
That was right. I was gonna say there were probably a couple intervals of like every 2 minutes.
There's two, and then she finally you wake up now. She's like, your head doesn't hurt.
Right.
You don't think you fell.
But I am parched. I'm sure I'm parched.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And like, all right, cool. So,
says, "Are you okay?"
No, like okay, so I think like all right, so like I do like.
Actually, Uthal's with you guys. That's good. And he kind of like when you come to, he kind of slaps you on the back, like too hard, but he doesn't know that.
Okay.
Then he's just says, "Strong drink, little man," and he helps pop you back up. He's maybe sitting on the other side of you. Yeah.
Which is super nice of him. But understand two things. Like, one is he's tall.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, he already bothers me as an ally.
Okay, yeah.
Was that fair?
Yeah. I forget, you're heightest, or...
Right,
I don't know
correct. That's probably correct.
Yeah. I wanted to say tallest, but I think heightest.
Yeah, that's
rampant heightism. My campaign.
Right.
I love it.
So, like, so as he does that, and I am able to come to and remain, present with the group, like, he's my ally, so I respect that. Yeah. But I also respect the fact that I need to move so that I don't try and hurt him.
Okay, yeah.
So like I do go and sit on the other side of the campfire, which is far enough.
Yeah.
But I have to remove myself.
And also removing yourself from such extreme proximity to Talia probably helps you get a little better handle on your breathing.
Yes, correct. That's correct. So like I make my way. Yeah. So I think that's how probably the campfire thing ends. Right?
Yep.
So like. Okay, so yeah, I do. I make it over. I make it over to her room that evening, and I am. Well, I've already taken like 2 cold showers.
Yeah.
Like before I finally got up the guts and courage to. So needless to say, I'm late.
There's another thing. If you want to add this to your inventory, I think you've made your own toothbrush now. Because before you had to use your leather. Yeah. You had to use your leather.
That's cool.
So
I had a
you got a toothbrush.
Sonic hair.
I'll even make it a +1 toothbrush. It's really nice. It's very nice. You spend a lot of time making it.
It's been imbued with extra cleaning.
As a jack of all trades, you've whittled yourself a toothbrush.
Yeah, and I have found some fibers and hairs. And
you made it out of wolf hair.
Yeah.
You've got some really, really like steel wool strength hair from that demon scrotum that you got. It's coarse. It really gets in between.
Yeah.
+1 toothbrush.
+1 toothbrush. You got it.
So, but yeah, no, like, okay, so I do make it to...
Roll for Colgate.
To her room. yeah, roll for Colgate.
Yeah.
Like, I do make it to her room, and I'm like so nervous that like I can't take my hands out of my pockets to knock, and so I end up just kicking the door upon my entrance.
And
No,
she's...
Right, so I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking straight.
Couldn't concentrate on that.
I wasn't thinking straight.
And
That's what I should have done.
so she was she's kind of waiting, right?
Yeah.
So she
Been waiting.
It doesn't take too much. She opens up the door, and she's
A little bit aggravated that I'm late.
no. She wanted you to come by later.
Yeah, but I'm later than late. Because I had to, it took me so long to work up the guts.
It doesn't really bug her actually.
Oh, cool.
It doesn't really bug her at all.
She's my kind of girl.
She's like
She ain't picky.
He says that to nobody. That's like just happened. He's just goes, my kind of girl. It's just like, boy.
I'm so used to talking to myself. Probably exactly.
Yeah, probably is exactly that. Yeah, like, and she's like, pardon? He's like, my God. Kick. And so she is still a little bit like soot and not grease. She's not like a mechanic, but like dirt on her hands and stuff from working. She doesn't have the forge in her room, but she has, enough things to kind of tinker around.
Mm-hmm.
And so she says, okay, good. Like, quiet, come on in. And so she says, hang on, it's over here. And so she starts rifling through her table, and then she collects these, they're anywhere, they kind of range. Yeah, what's up?
In this, time out real quick. In this storyline, in this specific, part of my prepping while I was taking the cold showers was to try and figure out, how I could stay conscious, for what I already am nervous about before. Well, and I don't know if this is possible, but what I've devised in my mind is that I will ready my mage hand to slap me if and upon I do pass out.
Oh yeah.
Is that feasible?
Is it happening right now?
Yeah. That's what I devised while I was in the cold showers.
Okay.
So now I finally made it to her room. So my mage hand is it is ready to try and to revive me if I pass out.
Are you saying that she's turned around and she's fidgeting at the desk with a few things?
Sure.
Are you okay, or are you?
If and when, if and when my mage hand senses
I feel
that
like a Constitution save is appropriate.
Any kind of double entendre that could happen.
Yep.
Is basically going to be the trigger for that mage hand.
Specifically.
Nice.
Is that fair?
You got lesser restoration. You just cast that.
I don't really want to burn a spell slot.
I burned all mine for his stupid dagger.
And they're gone.
You are a team player.
They're all gone. No. They've been infused into this dagger. I forgot to tell you that. I'm really sorry. I'm glad you took that concentration trait.
Yeah.
To use.
Yeah, it's great.
Thanks,
All
boss.
right, sorry.
Make a Constitution save.
Oh yeah, sure.
Now, I'll say we need to figure out what level this save needs to be. How difficult do you think this is for Sandy?
So
on a scale of 1 to 20.
Good question. So here's why I think that it's not all the way to 20.
Oh yeah, no. So 10
This
is
is my
typically
argument.
10 is kind of easy, 15 is medium, 20 is hard.
Right. So two things though. Here's the pro and the con that make it harder. The thing that makes it harder is that this is something that I've just devised, but knowing that it's gonna happen. So I've been trying all week to devise something so that I wouldn't keep blacking out.
Yep.
Prepared.
So that's what's gonna make it, but that's also what's gonna make it easier is the fact that I know that it's coming. So I've been trying.
Let's call it a 13, and you've got a plan, so you've got advantage.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good.
You're trying to be prepared.
You're about to pass out. No, I failed. No, please. No.
So I'm adding 3 to this.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
I crit.
Whoa.
Nice. You start to
caffeine.
go.
I need some.
Yes.
Sour Patch me.
Yep.
Sour
You
Patch
take whatever you want.
I want the kids.
Yep. So she walks over to the desk and she's like really reaching for something, and you're just like, oh god,
Here it comes.
and then slap, and you knew it, and you just were ready, you were prepared, yeah, and you keep it together, and she gets it. And so she she lays them out on the table for you. And they, some of them are like a little bit more. They're not the same dimension. Each one is a little different. They all seem to have the same receptacle, and she kind of tells you like she maybe didn't show you this before, but she takes told you to bring your loot, and so you bring it. She shows you that there's a little extra mechanism that opens this bomb bay door in the thing that wasn't there before, and the top of each one of these has a receptacle that kind of clips in there. So each one of them is a little bit different. Like one of them is just. It's a little bit more bulky, like elongated down the barrel. One of them is a longer a stack of clips. It's a little bit like deeper this way. And she's added like a grip out on the end to help you support while you've got the clips in. So, and she gives you these and kind of tells you what she's kind of worked with. She says some of these items, shall we say, were not exactly what I was expecting, but we did the best that we could, and I've experimented with a little bit of Wadsworth's help, and here you go, these are for you. Don't tell Derek that we've been working on these things. I know he doesn't like Wadsworth and I to be working in this capacity. Here,
okay.
These are for you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, and like.
So she spends a little bit of time like telling you like a little bit about each one, and you've got the loot, and she kind of shows you like how the mechanism works and stuff. She does the overhand, like it gets around, like the golf instructor kind of thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like
Do you need to make another con save if she does that?
Probably.
Okay.
Like. Just to be clear though, when I do that, like I do want it to give off a low tone, like a low level power chord.
Oh yeah.
I do want it to have.
There's a button now that does the power chords for you.
Yeah. So that when it like gives a little, right? It gives a. Yeah. Yes. Something like that. Yeah, perfect. I mean, good.
And actually, the pump action whenever you pump action a new round, it's like it's got like a. You're talking about a little bassy.
Yeah,
bassy power chord.
I don't need it to like echo off the wall.
Distortion.
I want it
a little
to
bit. It's a little.
Yeah, I want it to be a low level when I'm. Yeah, okay.
It's there.
One of the new things.
It is there. Yep.
Hooked me up with.
Yep.
Yeah, sweet. No, that's great. That's great. No, and that's like I will say this though, like when we're. Then, after she's presented all this to me, and like, we are kind of just staring at each other.
Yeah.
Not awkwardly, but it's getting there. Like, real, it happens fast, right?
Yeah.
I do muster. I'm like, is that all?
Well, yeah, that's great. When
Do the eyebrow.
Do you think?
Well, I'm probably staring at the floor.
Yeah.
But like, I am able to muster up.
Do you think there's a con save when she's showing you, she's around you, showing you all the loot? Do you think there's one there or not? You tell me. Do you think Sandy holds himself? Okay.
For sure.
So
I'm sure
you still have your plan. You're still sticking to your plan.
Yeah.
13 with the mage hand.
Yep.
Advantage.
It's cool. So I make it.
Yes.
Make it.
Good. Cool. It was another boy.
With my dex.
Yeah, but it was good.
Or constitution. Yep. Good. Cool.
Yeah, awesome. She says, well, yeah. What do you mean?
That's great. No, have a good night.
He runs out.
Back to the cold shower.
Yep, it's good.
All right.
You cast invisibility on yourself. Run.
And she kind of peeks her head out the door as you running away, and she's
Just kind of I'm just kind of yeah.
And
And it is different because
Gotta get help.
we had come to a point where we were having normal probably interactions, even though my heart was racing.
Oh yeah.
We were, and obviously I was keeping my distance because she was foraging. So
Yep.
that was arguably probably the closest.
That's exactly what I was about to say. This is probably the most and closest interaction that Sandy and was able to stay conscious the whole time.
True.
Holding it
The
together.
whole time.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. Good stuff.
There it is.
Nice.
Okay. And if you're uncertain and you want to hang on to that and figure out a trait, or like even like not in this session, if you want to text me and think about whatever trait you like, you can pocket that and flesh it out whenever you want. If you're unsure.
Trait?
Oh no, sorry, you did the magic initiate.
Yes.
You got that, the feat, right? Okay, cool. So I think are you all set to go? What did you end up with?
I grabbed a guiding bolt. So I got a few charges in there.
You got
too.
plenty of charges and
Oh,
then
yeah.
a couple of sweet.
Got a few.
So
What do we call this dagger? Just
I really want to call it Spike because you've got Bagsley and Spike. And oh yeah, we need to do a little bit before you guys head out with you two. How many charges did you end up with? I'll draw you up a card like for next time.
yeah, 5 of Spirit Guardian and 6 guiding bolt.
Oh, they all work together. So you got 11.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Cool.
That works.
Yep. I did a really bad
I
job
thought
of
it was,
explaining that, didn't I?
Yeah, I thought
I
it
did
was,
I did a
just
horrible job of explaining this crafting system to you.
When you first said it, I
Points.
was like, I just chalked it up as like, yeah, I just still don't know what I'm doing because I didn't follow it. So I was kind of glad when your math didn't work out. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad that I wasn't the only one.
Vindicated.
Right, that's exactly how I felt. Because I was like, oh, I felt like I listened. Better just pick a lead.
And as a DM, I'm glad that it's not very important that I communicate my ideas clearly and concisely to you guys. I'm glad that that's not a critical component of my role in this game. So, with that, let's carry on. So one thing that I'll say too is, and we kind of talked about this, but when you pull this dagger out of the forge, right, like time kind of stopped for you. And you were able to actually communicate with this dagger. Like there was a voice that kind of stopped, and in your mind's eye, you could visualize what these spells were and like what they would do. You just had a innate knowledge of what they were, and so as time is frozen, you're kind of swapping in these spells and picturing just in your mind like what the dagger's going to be like, and then you make your choices in time kind of speeds up again, and then the last hammer blow, and immediately the dagger, it was like glowing red hot when she had it, like when she was forging it, and this last hammer blow, you decided time like speeds up again for that last hammer blow, and now it's a cool a low blue glow, and just like the collars and like the Dread Sentinels, it's almost got like a cold frost coming off of it. Mm-hmm. Not a heavy like pouring off of it, but just a cool vapors, and it's glowing like a blue. And the voice that talked to you when you're making this dagger, do you name it Spike, or do you want it to tell you its name?
No, I'll ask its name.
Okay, yeah. So it'll tell you like I went by Spike, and it's an entity that has been channeled into this dagger, and so it was a little bit. This is a fallen Dread Sentinel that was stuck in this plane, that its soul wasn't allowed back to the material plane. Luckily, it was able to evade, like a ghost would haunt the material plane. It haunted this demonic plane until this opportunity was presented for it to come back and reside in this dagger. So you've kind of saved another Dread Sentinel, and it's very much like a good, like maybe it was a paladin or a cleric. It has a righteous. Actually, I should say it's a cleric. Maybe it's a combination of the divine energy, and it's also a divine spirit like itself. And so, it'll just tell you like it's. I'm glad to be in the hands of a Dread Sentinel. It was some terrible years wandering this plane.
Well, Spike, number 1, you're welcome. Number 2, you're going to do stuff for me now.
Hell yeah, player.
Alright, we're gonna murder a whole bunch of fiends. I mean,
Demon murdering, I'm cool with. That's fine. I'm
Perfect.
golden. Yeah.
we'll get along
Excellent.
just fine.
Just fine. Yep. Sweet.
Tell me, what do you think of wizards?
I was in a tactical party of Dread Sentinels. I worked very closely with wizards.
Like dwarves.
Fine folk, as long as they fight on our side. Am I right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Sure.
There are some wizards who saved my life down here many times. Wizards have a warm place in my heart.
Yeah, alright.
You had a run-in with a wizard?
Yeah, wizards. Me and wizards don't get along great.
Oh. Well, there's no wizards here right now, right?
There's one.
Oh,
His name's Wadsworth.
Wadsworth.
Yeah.
That doesn't ring a bell for me.
Okay. Don't worry about him.
Is he a fellow Dread Sentinel?
He is, but he's still a wizard, so.
It seemed that we should give him our respect if he's a fellow Dread Sentinel.
Yeah, if you say so.
I feel like he's
arguing
like,
with his
shit, I'm with like a freaking
Can't believe he's
racist.
still arguing with him.
This guy's a hater that I'm stuck with. I thought this was awesome. I got saved from being eternally damned, and now here I am with this jerk.
You know what would probably help you feel better? Let's go over and do something nice for Wadsworth right now.
Voice of
Dude.
reason.
Let's bridge the gap. I'm sensing that you two have
Maybe
have
tomorrow.
hard feelings together.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you.
Has he wronged you?
I put
He's
Spike
trying to
in
speak
the
up.
sheet.
Right,
Has
yeah, I was
has
just
he
gonna
wronged
say,
you?
I was like, are you gonna shut him up?
Has he wronged you in any way?
Spike, relax, dude.
Maybe. Shall we revisit this at a later time?
No.
Put a pin in it.
Okay. All right. We'll table this for now.
Right. Right.
Excellent.
That's funny.
All right. So back to you now. The last thing I'll say, Derek. So their group is not been like a fighting group before.
Right.
But they are very much in the way of they have worked on some hidden passages, out in the northern part of this continent. And he helped build up some of the hidden settlements in different areas or things. They are kind of like the construction team, and a little bit more in charge of managing like logistics and traveling and points, like locations and stuff. And so if you tell him where Catalina's fortress is, he marks on your map. He shows you like what he kind of calls like a secret route through that woods and around in an area where he says this should help you get through without any trouble. The last we were up there working, this is a safe passage, and I have no reason to doubt that it's not hasn't been compromised. This is still a Dread Sentinel passage here. So he marks out on your like a path, and it's not like they have like a tunnel leading there the whole way, but he marks where some. This is the shortest route to get in here, or this is a longer route, but you'll be more concealed, and then come up this way. And he kind of helps you draw that out. If you're open to him, showing it to you, he'll mark out on the map for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. Well, I appreciate you backing us on this decision. I know that you were hoping for us to kind of.
That's a fine staff there, Master Victor.
You want it?
Is that
Well,
that?
It's a set power, yeah. But like I have this choice of like maybe breaking it over my knee and being transported to. No, I shouldn't do that. You're saying.
I know I'm old, but perhaps I could stay here and train with the staff, and next time, maybe, if I'm ready, I'll just sneak out with you guys. Hey,
Why don't you just take the staff and we'll talk about it later?
That sounds great.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna be a Dread Sentinel.
No. Chill out. Just.
He's like hugging the staff.
Yeah, don't do that.
He's giddy.
Don't do that.
Are we
just
there?
maybe just hold it like a
Or is it
man
just you
does.
Yeah, you can be around.
Hold the staff like a man does. That's not how a man
He
holds
rubs
it.
He rubs his beard on it.
You know, I'm gonna take that away.
Daniel
From
standing
you.
behind him, just going.
I'm starting to feel like I'm sorry. You just hold it. Just never mind. You know what? Yeah. Go have fun with your staff. Remember, your deity is watching. Just
Die, demons!
I'm for sure laughing again, and
always
then
wanted
I
to do
just
this.
start walking out.
Yeah.
I've made a horrible mistake.
No, I promise, I won't let you down.
Okay. Just take it down.